Hello there, this is FairBinaryOptions.com, and we are continuing our Binary Options Academy project here with a new, let's say, concept, if you want, for our traders, but a very simple concept in the sense that every trader in this world heard of, or at least should have heard about, a trend. What is a trend? What is the definition of a trend, and how to trade a trend? Well, a classical example comes from the Australian dollar, US dollar, as you can see here on the 1 hour chart, but this example to be treated on the second part. As on the first part, I would just like to lay down the grounds for trading a trend, or the rules for how a trend should be identified. Well, first of all, it should be noted, and we should write here on the screen, that the first thing to look for in a rising or in falling trend is, so number one, we're looking at a series, looking for a series of higher lows or lower highs. Now, of course, higher lows means that the trend to start is going to be a bullish one, and lower highs would mean that the trend to start is going to be a bearish one. So basically all you need to do is to look for those points. Then after that, the second thing to do, after identifying at least, so after identifying at least 2 points, 2 higher lows, let's say higher lows or lower highs, and in brackets ideally 3 points, 3 higher lows or lower highs. So after identifying them, draw a trend line and connect them. Now, it is important to mention here that the trend line should not go tip-top, mini-top from the tops, from the top of a low to from a top of one point to another, but it should define a trend. A trend is always being formed out of a move that is channeling too well or is channeling nicely, even if it is an impulsive move, for example, because the channeling part is applicable, if you want, only to corrective moves like zigzags, most likely, or zigzag family patterns. However, it is not that important if it is corrective or impulsive. It is important that the move is trending. Now, of course, after identifying this higher highs, higher lows and lower highs, it means that we can draw the trend lines, and the trend lines, the upper and lower trend lines, represents the edge of a trend. So upper and lower trend lines represent the edges of a trend. Now, normally after a trend is identified, what we should do is to, in a rising trend, we should go and buy call options every time the lower part of the trend, the lower range of the trend is being tested, and put options when the higher part of the trend is being tested. Now, of course, in a bullish trend, it is going to be difficult, or is going to look like trying to pick a top when you are trying to buy put options on a rising trend. So the path of least resistance, if the trend is bullish or if the trend is bearish, is to buy call options in a bullish trend and put options in a bearish trend. Now, on the next or the second part of this project, I would like to discuss this Australian dollar, US dollar. What are the prerequisites of a trend, and how to trade it actually here when the trend is ending? Well, look for the series, or for the market to close above the previous two higher highs or higher lows, sorry, or lower highs. And that's it, and the trend should be completed, and we should move on trying to identify the same principle over and over and over again. Stay tuned please for the second part here, where we will try to explain or to put everything that is above into context and see if a trend is completed or not with this classical Australian dollar US dollar 1 hour chart.